Alright, today we will talk about properties of a rhombus. Here we go. So a rhombus, just like a rectangle, is a type of parallelogram. That means all the properties of a parallelogram are also in a rhombus. So just like in a parallelogram, opposite sides are parallel, which means this side parallel here, this side parallel here, opposite sides congruent. There's something special about this one. Opposite angles congruent, which means this angle is congruent with this angle, and this angle down here is congruent with this angle up here. And consecutive angles are supplementary. Which means these two angles add up to 180 degrees. These two angles 180. These two add up to 180, and these two add up to 180. And finally, diagonals bisect each other. So just like a parallelogram, these 5 properties are also in a rhombus. What makes rhombus special is this extra added property. A rhombus has 4 congruent sides. So aside from opposite sides being congruent, more specifically, all 4 of these sides are congruent. Then diagonals are perpendicular. Which means in here is a right angle. And these are all right angles inside. And diagonals bisect the opposite angles. The diagonals this time are angle bisectors, which means this angle congruent with that angle. This angle is congruent with that. Then this and this are congruent, and this are congruent. So there you have properties for rhombus, and just like with rectangle definition and parallelogram definition, the minimum definition of a rhombus is it is still a quadrilateral with where opposite sides are parallel, which makes it still a parallelogram. And the extra condition is 4 sides are congruent. All 4 sides are congruent. So let's do a few examples of this. Example 1. RST is 67 over here. We're trying to find RSW. If RST 67 goes for this entire segment, 67, what's RSW? Okay, because this is an angle bisector. If this entire angle is 67, then we bisect it. 67 divided by 2 gets me 33.5. So RSW is 33.5, which means this right here is 33.5, and over here 33.5. Altogether, the A makes 67. Next, SVT. Find SVT if STV is 135. So this full angle is 135. And we know this angle and this bottom angle, SVT. Well, not this whole bottom angle. So this actually goes back to properties of a triangle. You would notice from our diagram, I cover this up. This is actually an isosceles triangle. Because it's an isosceles triangle, this angle and this angle are congruent. Which means if I call this x, down here's also x. And the three angles of a triangle add up to 180. So here's how you approach number 2. Okay. Number 3, SWT. SWT is 2x plus 8. But we also know from our property that that's a right angle. So my equation is 2x plus 8 is a right angle, so 2x plus 8 equals 90. And last part, find x if measure of angle WRV, 5x plus 5, and WRS, 7x minus 19. And our property over here is that these two angles are the same, they're congruent. So we have 7x minus 19 equals 5x plus 5. And solve from there. So there you have properties of a rhombus.